be strong and rest in you. Time said,
I don't care what's going on.
oh mama,
And when things seem to go wrong,
oh God,
with my faith I can be strong
oh yeah.
and rest in you.
I'm on choir, say,
I don't care what's going on.
oh.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
The Ageless Beauty broadcast has arrived. Join Dr. Emeka Umira and Dr. Anayo Umira, teaching you wholeness and keeping you healthy from the inside out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ageless Beauty broadcast. I'm here with a good friend, very good friend, Latoya Orika. She is a licensed esthetician, very knowledgeable, and also a licensed laser practitioner. So today we're going to be talking about Skin 101. So please feel free to join us. A call. You can call at any time. The phone number is 478-250-144. And Latoya, can you say hello to our audience? Some of them are live on Facebook and some are listening.
Well, hello, everyone. How are you? Like she said, my name is Latoya Orikara, and I am a licensed esthetician, clinical esthetician, and I'm licensed to do laser practitioner as well. And I'm also a realtor.
Yay! So where is your office at?
We're at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, suite number C102.
Okay, awesome. And welcome to the show. So listen, we are going to be talking about Skin 101. Like the skin is the largest organ in our body.
Yes.
And it's the greatest gift that God has given us, and we have to take care of it. We're going to be talking about 20s, our skin in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, and in our 50s.
Okay.
Like they say, what you do in your 20s actually
it correlates to what you're going to do in your 50s, because your skincare starts in your 20s. It actually starts a little bit before your 20s. Now, skincare is actually for our 20s. We're actually starting to recommend a little bit more of the retinols and a little bit more of the vitamin C's. So for the antioxidants and to take better care of your skin. So a lot of people are starting a lot younger,
Actually, you should start in your 20s. You should start in your 20s, because whatever happens then is okay. So remember then, especially for the Caucasian, in their 20s, we wear bathing suits, they wear bathing suits and lay out in the sun. And by the time they're in their 50s, the skin is already...
Yeah, because that pigment starts to move forward as the skin starts to thin.
Exactly.
So you see it more than you would in your 20s, even though most of the damage that we do by the time we turn 18. You see it in your later years.
That is quite correct. So there is skincare for every age, right?
Exactly.
So now in our 20s, okay, so I'm 20-year-old and I come to you. What would you recommend for me?
The first thing I'm going to ask you is what type of regimen you're used to doing. So I want to know what you use now, because that'll kind of give me an idea of the number of products you like to use, and then what type of products you're going to use. So basically, starting out, it's always going to start, the basics are going to always be a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer. Toner actually balances back the skin. So,
So it balances the pH so that
Correct.
Everything else, all your products can actually penetrate.
And they do what they're supposed to do.
Okay, so what about acne? Now, teenagers, they have a lot of acne.
Mm-hmm.
What can we recommend? Oh, we already have a caller in.
Okay.
Let's hear from our caller. Hello and welcome to Ageless Beauty broadcast. This is Dr. Mara.
Yes.
Who am I speaking with?
There?
Who am I speaking with?
This is Miss New Jersey.
Miss New Jersey. Okay,
Yes.
Miss New Jersey. How can we answer your question?
I just needed to give Apostle Vertice Rozier my telephone number in case he needed to contact me.
Your phone number. What's your phone number?
Okay, the number is 478 550 1997, and it's Miss New Jersey's telephone number in case he needs to get a hold of me.
Okay. We'll do
Thank
that.
you so much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Okay, so where were we?
Acne.
Yes, acne.
With the younger, it's got to be something with a little bit of salicylic acid in it, something that's going to help slough off those extra dead skin cells. Because with acne, a lot of times, not all the time. Sometimes you can have dry acne too. You can have dry skin and have acne, but a lot of times it's a little bit more oil production, and so you want to slough off those dead skin cells. And then microdermabrasions are wonderful. It's a wonderful way to take off that extra layer of skin, and it helps your products to penetrate a little bit better as
Okay,
well.
so you recommend microdermabrasion, which is like sloughing up the dead skin
Yes.
for the younger ones.
Yes.
So let's go over to the 30s.
Okay. So,
Then the wrinkles are starting. The dynamic wrinkles are starting. So what would you recommend in our 30s?
in your 30s, definitely we're going to start using some retinol. I'm definitely recommending retinol at night. And then I like a chemical pill. When I probably had my first one probably in my 30s. And my chemical pills basically help to soften the lines, and it'll help to even out the skin tone. Because in our 30s is when we really start kind of looking at ourselves. We spend a little more time in the mirror.
Yes, yes, and we have a little bit of money because some of us are employed at that time. So moisturize, cleanse first, moisturize,
Tone,
cleanse, tone, moisturize, and then retinol at night.
And retinol at night.
So can you tell me the benefits of the retinol?
Retinol, basically what retinol does is it's like a derivative of vitamin A. So you want to look at a pure retinol when you're looking at that, and then you're looking at the helping. Basically, it'll help soften the lines and wrinkles in the face. I know I'm talking with my hands, but it helps to soften those lines and wrinkles. It also helps to slough off those dead skin cells. Helps with cell turnover, basically.
Exactly. So aside from chemical pills, microdermabrasion, what about hydrofacial?
Love a hydrofacial.
Most people don't know what hydrofacials are.
Love a hydrofacial. And I was going to say, I was kind of saving that one, I guess, until our 40s too, because it helps to rehydrate.
Okay,
too.
So let's save it till our 40s. But also...
You can do it at any age, though.
Yeah, but you know that from age 30, we start to lose collagen. We start to lose elasticity. We start to have the fine lines. But that is the time to start Botox. Would you agree with me?
Yes. I think before you want to get ahead of the game. You don't want to wait until you're already past that stage, because then you're playing catch up.
Exactly, because prevention is better than cure, they say. Okay, now the interesting part, the 40s.
40s, we start to notice a little bit more. And what you do to your face, starting in your 20s, what you do to your face is what you should do to your neck. But we don't start doing it usually until our 30s and 40s.
But by then,
because then we see the line, and we didn't think about it before, but now.
But then in late 30s, we're already taking care of our skin.
Yes.
Oh, okay, we should be taking care of our skin. So by the time we get to our 40s, your face is looking good, but then your neck and your hands, you forgot.
And your décolleté, yes.
Your décolleté. So, okay, so in our 40s, the skin is duller, the elasticity is diminished. You start to have dark spots.
Yes.
So what are we recommending?
I would recommend a hydrofacial, because with a hydrofacial, you can do multiple things. You can actually infuse the skin, but you can also take off the dead skin cells. And so with that, you're actually giving yourself like a 2-4.
Okay. So basically, some people don't know what hydrofacial is. So you're
basically, it's almost like it's like a microdermabrasion without the beads, without the grit.
The
the
crystals.
crystals, like you're saying, grit, like without the crystals. And basically, you're going over the skin in the same direction, same way you would do with a microderm. However, it's actually you're infusing the skin at the same time that you're taking off those dead skin cells.
And it's very good for hydration. And you can add other things. You can exfoliate.
There's serums, and you can also add serums, which is why it's so good.
Okay, so
2-4.
And you can infuse the skin with all those, but also in your 40s, that's when I recommend growth factors, because that is serious skincare. Growth factors are wonderful. They're almost like they're proteins. They're found all over your skin.
In your skin. So you're basically putting back what helps to regenerate and replump your own skin with your own body.
With your own body, yeah. So growth factors. So let's say I come to your counter you were in retail, right?
Yes.
At some point, and 40 years old. What would you recommend?
As far as over the counter, like, or you're
Over the
saying
counter.
over the counter, it's really going to be. I don't have a whole lot. The only thing that right now is Genifique. It would be Lancome's Genifique. That's going to be the closest thing. It has the bifidus ferment in it,
Okay.
and that's going to help with the elastin and collagen in the skin.
Okay. So, what did you call it again?
Genifique.
What does it have in it?
Bifidus ferment.
Okay.
It's a good probiotic for the skin.
Oh, probiotic.
Mhm.
Probiotic.
It's a
Okay.
good probiotic.
So, but I recommend growth factor for anybody that is 40 and over, because that is number one. We haven't talked about sunscreens.
Sunscreen is
That's for
definitely
everybody.
important, and that's everybody, every age, especially with the way that the ozone has changed and the atmosphere. And everybody needs to be wearing sunscreen.
Everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you're black or
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say.
so. In your
Color.
40s, in your 30s, you should start doing Botox. In your 40s, the lines are deeper.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter, the adage, is it an adage, blacks don't crack? Blacks don't crack, we actually break. And why do I say that? Because yes, because we have a lot of melanin. Okay,
Right.
so our skin is more resilient. We have more collagen and elastin in our bodies, but then so we stay young longer. But then when
it hits,
it hits very hard.
Mhm.
Because from age 35, we're actually losing a teaspoon of fat, tissue, bones.
Mhm.
Then we start having sunken eyes. We start having hooded eyes. The wrinkles become deeper.
Mhm.
What about fillers for us blacks?
And fillers are a lot of times people are scared of fillers because what we see and what we hear. But fillers are great because your body naturally absorbs those. So over time, it just kind of naturally absorbs and kind of. People are scared. Oh, it's a toxin. No, it's actually pretty good for you because it's natural. It's
Yeah.
like
And they like the hyaluronic acid fillers that made it's manufactured
your body
in our body.
produces it. Yes.
So it's really nothing. So in our 40s, that's when we start considering serious skincare procedures like lasers.
Mhm.
Okay, fractionated laser. You're a laser practitioner. You've done that. That is light energy in a skin. So for
Especially for those that are starting to see, excuse me, it gives you a more milky appearance to the skin.
more luminous,
And it basically, what it does is it shoots light into the skin, and so it pushes that pigment forward, and then it starts to freckle off.
yeah,
So,
and they can do light resurfacing as well.
Mhm.
And it depends on your skin type. For skin types,
and resurfacing is great too, especially when you're talking about getting those deeper lines and wrinkles. That resurfacing in certain areas, and sometimes you can do a portion of the face, but it's really good to do the full face, so
Yeah.
that way it's even.
So for African Americans, we can do lasers. We can do lasers, the fractional laser. We can do light resurfacing.
Light.
We can do microneedling.
Oh, microneedling is amazing.
That's my number one.
Microneedling.
That's my number one procedure.
Especially for plumping the skin when you want to replump the density in the skin. It's one of those things where you see the results within weeks. Within 2 to 3 weeks. It's like every day you're looking and it's changing day by day. So it's kind of like when you look in a mirror, it's something, it makes your eyes pop like, oh my gosh, I can see the change.
Yeah, and you need series of them. It's not just one.
It's most things are serious, just like with skincare. It's continuous. It's not something you just stop and start. So you want to get on a good regimen. You want to talk to your skincare provider. Like, you would come to Ageless Aesthetics and say, hey, what do I need? And most times it's going to be a series of anywhere from 3 to 6 treatments to get you to where you need to be. And it's going to be that way, based on the season. Sometimes you might do one portion of your skincare in the fall and the other portion, for the summer, because can't do your chemical peels and lasers in the summer, but you'll have the other portions of your skincare.
So what about in our 50s?
In our 50s,
do everything.
I want to
say,
please start early. I mean, you can still, microneedling is still great, especially for 50 and overs. And It's a mildly invasive procedure. So look for those that are older that are scared of those types of procedures. Microneedling is really great.
It comes in a pen with tiny
And
needles,
it's very safe.
and it's very safe, and it's good for all skin types.
All skin types.
So, what's your number one to go procedure for a lady or a male that is in her 50s? Number one procedure.
I'd probably say microneedling is probably going to be my number one because I like the way that I like the results that I get.
So, to give us a regimen, especially between 40s and 50s, I would say a series of micro needling.
Mhm.
In between that, to do some hydrofacial, and then get on a good skincare regimen.
Exactly.
What are we looking for? We're looking for antioxidants.
Yes, your
What-
vitamin C's, your retin. Yeah. Go
Your
ahead. Vitamin C is definitely a great antioxidant, especially when you're looking at discoloration, as you're starting to see in those later years, and it actually helps. Excuse me. It will actually help with any of the discoloration, and it gives you an illumination. The only thing with vitamin C you do want to be careful with vitamin C is just start off small with a small little bit, and test it out, and then add. You can add it to your moisturizers if you don't want to do it directly on the skin, which is really great too.
Okay, we're not leaving out the men here.
Yeah,
So
men can use it as well. Most of the things that you're gonna do as a woman, men can use. Don't feel left out. Men can do the same procedures.
and because one of the main problems is pore
Discolor-
size,
Mhm.
discoloration.
Yep.
Go ahead.
For men, especially for men that shave, depending on what they use, a lot of them will have pseudofolliculitis. They'll have the bumps and underneath their chin, and they'll have the discoloration from where they've been picking. And
Mhm.
sometimes ladies have that too. So ladies, instead of waxing, they'll go and they'll start to pick, and they'll end up with the dark spots under their chin as well. So vitamin C is one of those things that will help with some of that discoloration. And then chemical peels.
Chemical peels. What about retinols? They have to use retinols as well.
Retinol is always at night. We started our retinol, so we're going to continue that. Remember, we started
and
that
for
in our 30s.
and for men, and for men too, they need to get on that regimen.
Chemical peels. Even if you do, you can even do, like, for a lot of men, and they like enzymes because enzymes will eat away at those dead skin cells as
Mhm.
well. And you can find a lot of skincare that may have like a rice-based enzyme or papaya, and it'll help to brighten
the skin
Mhm.
for the men. And we also recommend micro needling
Of course.
for the men. Micro needling, hydrofacial periodically. So how often should we get in hydrofacial?
For me, I would recommend. It depends on the person. Sometimes at least once a month. No less than
Because it
once
sloughs
a month.
off the dead skin.
Correct. It basically keeps your pores free and open for your products to penetrate a little bit better and do what they're supposed to do.
That's awesome. So that's amazing. How do you do radio frequency? Any radio frequency
For
energy based
energy-based items, for body contouring and things like that.
for the face?
You can that body contouring as well as face and tightening the muscles. Basically, what that's going to do is it's going to help to tighten the muscles in the face and push them back up because gravity automatically pulls us down.
Exactly.
So with the radio frequency, you're going in an upward motion to really retone those muscles.
Exactly. So radio frequency is good from age 30.
I would say start at 30. Whenever you start to see, basically when you're wanting to start your maintenance.
Mhm.
Is when you're starting. And so if you started your maintenance, it's funny because even I've seen some girls like in their, their 30s when they first start getting their Botox because that's when they're looking, they're like, okay, this chin,
And we do offer this in office at Warner Robins. So 320 Margie Drive, Warner Robins, if you need to get this going, because we need to get on the regimen as soon as possible. If you haven't, that is a no-no. And why is it that I've noticed that when you go to like a retail shop, I see people buying more makeup.
A lot of times people will they would rather cover than to correct. If you correct, it's less likely that you have to cover. So the more correction you do, and the better you take care of your skin, the less makeup you will have to wear. It won't have to wear it. You'll wear it because you want to if you're going out on a special occasion, not to actually just cover up something.
Your skin is beautiful, by the way. It's really very beautiful.
Thanks to Dr. Nina.
It's really very beautiful. So, I mean,
Thank you.
less is more.
Yes.
Less is more because it makes the makeup actually blend very well.
Yes.
And you look healthy because a healthy skin exudes health.
Nice glow. A lot of times people will think of a glow as oil, but it's not. It's just your skin's natural radiance.
Wow, that's amazing. What about what we eat?
Yeah, food.
What we eat and our skin.
Food and water. You'd be amazed at how many people say, I ask that question when I'm doing a skin consultation. How much water do you drink?
Or they ask you, or,
No, I
or
ask
you
them,
ask them?
How much water do you drink? And the first thing they say is, I drink a lot of water. And then you say, okay, how many glasses? And I'm looking at the sheet that they filled out, and it's like 2 glasses of water a day. You know, your body is mainly water. So a lot of times you'll start to see the dehydration in the face, and you'll see the lines because of dehydration. And same thing with food. Foods, can cause lots of different reactions in the skin.
The food and what you drink.
Yes.
So, like alcohol will dehydrate your skin.
Definitely. Smoking suffocates the skin. So, definitely.
And of course, UV rays. So that's why we recommend the sunscreen at every point in time.
Yeah, and it's got to be a broadband, so it covers the burning and the aging rays
of the from the sun.
From the sun.
So because most people, especially for us African Americans, we say we go out in the sun. No. What do we normally say?
Normally we're like, oh, we don't have skin cancer. It doesn't affect us, but it actually does. If you look at if you go to there's a website called the Skinny on Skin, and it's about skin cancer and melanomas, and it actually talks about people of color. Because a lot of times we don't realize that we've gotten certain things. There's certain things or certain signs that we have that we ignore. Like sometimes you can have that little line in your toe and things like that. It's like a little black line in your toenail or your fingernail. And that can indicate something in your body is going wrong. But we kind of ignore it. We tend to ignore those things.
And think that, cancer is enough of us African Americans.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story. So in my 20s, I went from Nigeria. So I went to a shop to buy skincare. I started taking care of my skin at a very early age. And the person behind the counter actually did some concussion for me, and I put it on my face. And it actually burnt my face and gave me melasma. So, and that's why it's very important that you know what's in your skincare.
Yes.
So what we're looking for is antioxidants, retinols, and of course sunscreen. Those would be your basic. Would you agree with me?
Yes, those are your basics.
Okay. So, like Angela Bassett, she's what? How old is she now?
Amazing. She's in her 60s.
And and that will tell you she has been taking care of her skin for a long time. That's why it looks the way it looks now.
Yeah, even if you look at Michelle Obama's face and her skincare regimen, she actually has an esthetician that she uses regularly.
Wow.
Wow. So just to tell you that most of the people that you see, most of your movie stars and people that you see on television, they're actually going and having these procedures done. They just don't tell you that they're having them.
Exactly. Wow. So now we're past 50 and there's no age limit. Would you agree with me?
No.
We're now in our 60s. What do we recommend?
Well, definitely continuing with your Botox if you're already on your Botox regimen, your fillers, if you're starting to lose the volume. Definitely eye creams. Eye creams. I can't stress that enough, especially when you're starting to see a little bit of the hooding and a little bit of the under eye darkness.
Okay, so remember in our 60s, the eyes are now getting hooded. The lines are getting deeper. We're losing volume. We're losing bone density. So
those fillers are key.
The fillers are key. There's nothing wrong with looking 40 in your 60s. There's nothing wrong. So you get on your regimen for Botox, and it doesn't matter whether you're Caucasian or African American. Get on your regimen for fillers. There are some fillers that last a year, some last 2 years, some last for 5 years. The collagen fillers, the retinols is a must.
Yeah.
And then get on some growth factor. I mean, people spend thousands of dollars with makeup.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people.
It looks like we have a call. Let's see. Hello and welcome to Ageless Beauty Broadcast. I'm Dr. Nayumera. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Deborah.
Deborah, how are you? Welcome to the
I'm,
show.
I'm doing fine. I have a question.
Okay.
I heard earlier about when you were talking about, I think it was in your 20s and 30s, that you have to use, what's that, retinol?
Retinol. Yeah.
Okay, retinol. Okay, what is that? And tell me where I can get that. And do you all provide those products that we can get those from your office?
Oh, yes, definitely, Deborah. Retinols are vitamin A derivative, and they do a lot of things. They help with elasticity of the skin. They help to brighten the skin. They help with fine lines and wrinkles. And yes, we do have it in our office, and I actually have a compounded retinol product in my office. We do carry a variety of retinols in our office, and I can give you a phone number. It's 478-333-2595. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Oh, so this is the right time to start.
Yes.
This is the right time.
Okay.
So over the counter, the retinols that we carry is actually prescription strength that you can only find in doctors' offices, which I really recommend that you do. But there are other products that is over the counter. There are over the counter.
There are some over the counter products. You just want to make sure of where that content of retinol is in the product.
Exactly.
Because when you're looking at your ingredients, those first five will really tell you the concentration. Now, it's not going to be as potent as what you would get at Dr. Umera's office, so you won't see the results quite as fast. It'll be a more gradual.
More gradual, and I recommend 0.5. I mean, we do have 0.25, 0.5, and 0.1% retinol.
Yeah, and in the store, you're probably going to see you're going to probably see a 0.3 or less in the store. Mm-hmm.
That's if it's even sufficiently.
Right. Yeah, because that was going to be my next.
See over the counter.
You said what, Deborah?
That's going to be my next. Yeah, that's going to be my next question. So, how do I know which one to get? Is it based on my age, or how do I know which?
Based on your age, based on your age and how sensitive your skin is, I will recommend 0.5. But I would love for you, don't spend your money, in a guesswork. I will really recommend that you see a doctor. That is a doctor that prescribes, because it's pure. There are no, there are other ingredients, but that it's that percentage that is in the product.
Correct. And your esthetician, when you come into Dr. Umera's office, you're actually going to have an esthetician that will look at your skin and assess you and tell you exactly what percentage and where you need to start. So that way, it takes the guesswork out for you.
For you, exactly.
A consultation.
Okay, yeah,
key.
that's because that, yeah. I would prefer a professional to do it versus me trying to go to the store and buy something over the counter and not knowing exactly what I'm buying. If I'm buying a lesser dosage and it's not working the way that I think it should work or what I expect it to work. So yeah. So what are your office hours?
Our office hour is 9 to 5, Monday to Thursday, and 9 to 2 on Fridays. And we're on 320 Margie Drive in Warner Robins and 112 Oakwright Landing in Macon. And you can miss it. It's Ageless Aesthetics of Central Georgia.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, Deborah.
Have a good day.
Have a good one. Okay. So let's continue with our discussion.
Okay. And I think where were we talking about retinols, or were we
What 60s?
60s?
And that's when you start looking at your neck seriously. Your neck and
Because
the
you're
hand.
starting to get, it's like almost like the volume from your face goes to your neck.
But that's from gravity and from gravity, the loss of tissues and bone and all that stuff.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
That's awesome. Thank you everyone for watching. Those on Facebook Live, we'll see you next week on Friday at 4 p.m.
Be patient and wait on him. Learn how to wait on him. He will. I tried to wait on him. I found out that he'll make everything all right. If you learn how to wait. Learn how to wait on Jesus. Oh, learn how to wait on him. He will. Show will. He'll make everything all right. If you learn how to wait. Oh, stand still. Don't waver. Don't doubt. God will.